Welcome back, friends. So, we have had a very constructive uh, visit from Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the United Arab Emirates. India's energy security has received a major boost today with two important memorandum of understanding documents signed during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the UAE. India imports, as you know, close to 90% of its crude requirements, making the country vulnerable to geopolitical disruptions, shipping bottlenecks, sanctions, and price volatility. The vulnerability has been exposed during the ongoing United States Iran Israel conflict, with the disruption of supplies via the Strait of Hormuz dealing a major blow. The two agreements, MOUs, pertain to building strategic petroleum reserves for India and ensuring a long term LPG and LNG supply. The United Arab Emirates visit also saw the conclusion of key agreements across vital areas such as energy, defense, infrastructure, shipping, and advanced technology, giving fresh impetus to the India UAE Comprehensive Strategic Partnership Framework. In another important development, UAE announced investments worth $5 billion in India. This will further deepen economic ties. UAE, as you know, is one of the India's top 5 crude oil suppliers, and its geographical proximity to India makes supply available at very short notice. Hence, having United Arab Emirates store oil for India and also help build oil reserves in India acts as a booster. UAE's recent move from OPEC and OPEC Plus will also work to India's benefit, since it allows the Middle East country to step up oil production, believe or not. It's going to be a major game changer. Now, according to Kepler data, recent crude trade flows show that India's imports from the UAE during late April and May have already recovered to levels broadly comparable to what it was importing prior to the conflict escalation. This highlights how closely both countries have coordinated despite the challenging market environment. So, according to the press release from the Prime Minister's office, two energy security related arrangements have been signed today and will have the great amount of scope. One will be that there will be a potential ADNOC, which is the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, crude oil storage in India's strategic petroleum reserves, up to 30 million barrels. So this is a strategic collaboration between the Indian Strategic Petroleum Reserves Limited, which is ISPRL, and the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company. And there will be facilities in as you know this there will be participation in facilities in Vishakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh, and the development of reserve facilities in Chandikot, Odisha. Also, very important is that, and this is something very exciting, that there's going to be potential storage of crude oil in Fujairah, UAE, to form part of the Indian Strategic Petroleum Reserve. So UAE will store something for us. Potential collaboration in LNG, liquefied natural gas, and liquid petroleum gas LPG storage facilities in India. So that adds a lot of interesting things, and there is a great strategic collaboration agreement between Indian Oil Limited IOC and ADNOC, which is the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, on supplies of LPG. Under this agreement is to explore potential opportunities in the sale and purchase of LPG. This includes long-term supply of LPG and entry into a long-term LPG sale and purchase agreement between the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company and Gas Limited and Indian Oil Corporation. India, as you know, has strategic petroleum reserves at Vishakhapatnam, Mangaluru, and Padur. and capacity expansion is approved with reserves at Chandikot and Padur. The MOU with the United Arab Emirates aims to help enhance these reserves in India while also storing oil in Fujairah for India. Storage of oil at Fujairah will also help reduce India's dependence on the Strait of Hormuz for the transit of oil. And this, therefore, is a game changing for India's energy security in the long term. The importance of having strategic petroleum reserves has been brought to light with stark clarity due to the continuing US Iran war, exposing gaps in energy security of major economies. India, the world's sixth largest economy, has faced shock like never before in recent times. So, given the global uncertainties, such bilateral engagement is timely and mutually beneficial to both countries in a major way. How does UAE benefit? Because now it gets a long-term partner, strategic partner. Okay, it's not just short-term, and there is more to come. They're going away from OPEC and entering into long-term agreements with India. Shows that much of the additional oil that they are going to produce is going to go straight to India, and they are already developing now a new pipeline which goes through Fujairah and outside, and which has gone completely circumvents the Strait of Hormuz. So this is something which has, as I say, this has happened because of necessity. So necessity is the mother of innovation, right? So they have bypassed the Strait of Hormuz and they are building a separate pipeline which will straight take it through Fujairah and outside into Asia, and that goes straight into India. So this is a great way to circumvent the problems that can happen in the future also in the Strait of Hormuz being circumvented with blockades of any country. In this case, it is Iran and the United States. So now they have something which is very independent, and this gives employment opportunities. It gives a tremendous boost to the economies of both United Arab Emirates as well as India. So I think that's a great deal. India's strategic petroleum reserves deal with the UAE deserves comment, and I think is going to be extremely useful to secure the energy needs of India and also the financial needs of United Arab Emirates as it looks for a long-term partner in its strategic proof to be able to get out of the OPEC and to find places where they can have long-term arrangements, supply arrangements, and they can add to their GDP, they can add to their oil production and also distribution capabilities. This is all going to be together and something that will be equally beneficial to both the countries. Friends, so we love to look into various economies around the world, how the world economy is changing, how respective countries are changing, with a focus, of course, on how this current war is changing and how various countries are going to find ways and means of being able to secure themselves in the near future. To get to know more and also about the markets, predictions of the markets, the US markets, the world financial markets, the Asian markets, do like, subscribe our channel and do spread the word and do forward our YouTube presentations to whoever you believe will be best benefited from our study, analysis, and have a great, nice weekend, productive weekend. Look forward to talking with you soon once again. Take care. Bye-bye.